Hi, I'm James, and in today's video we're looking at Wargames Atlantic's pack of French Resistance. Now, this is the first pack in their range of Resistance figures. I believe that the next one is going to be female figures. Given that a large percentage of the French Resistance were female, that makes a lot of sense. Now, Sprue is packed with figures. Now, if you buy the full box, you get 8 sprues. I've bought 2 just to try them out. Now there's a lot of different bits of kit on there. There's 2 Lee Enfield number 4 rifles, a Bren, 2 Sten Mark 2s, 2 MP38 or 40s, an M3, a revolver which looks like a Webley, a 1911, a C96 Mauser, and a knife. In addition to that, you've got 2 holsters, one of which has got a pistol in it. They do look a bit overscale for me. I haven't used them. I thought they were a bit too large. There's one MP40 magazine pouch and quite a few grenades, one of which is a Mills bomb, the rest are the stick grenades. There's a good variety of heads with lots of different headgear. I'd have liked a few more civilian caps, but there's a nice variety. Considering the design for French, you've got the berets in there. Yeah, it works nicely. All the figures are wearing jackets which could easily be painted up as ones where you've actually got a military jacket and removed the insignia and things from it. So yeah, that works quite nicely. Now, there's a lot of uses for these figures. They would work quite nicely, obviously, as French, particularly if you're looking at that. I think a couple of French weapons and heads would be useful. They could easily be pulled from the other plastic ranges of French that are out there. That would work quite nicely, because the French weapons were fairly common. Looking at the footage of the Resistance, they would work really well as Dutch, or in fact any Western Resistance group. You could use them as Yugoslavs, because it's often forgotten a lot of the Yugoslavs were carrying British kit. Although I have a feeling that they'll probably do a separate pack for that. The only downside with that would be they're not wearing boots, they're wearing shoes. Okay, that's not exactly going to be a killer. They could be used quite nicely as Volkstrom. This is where I would like some more with hats rather than bare head, but yeah, that would work well enough. I've probably got plenty of spare Panzerfausts that would fit into that quite nicely. You could use them for a very British Civil War, but with the only negative thing, a lot of the weapons would be too late for it. The pistols will work nicely, but the submachine guns wouldn't. They're too late, and the rifles are number 4 Lee Enfields rather than the Mark IIIs that would have been around at that point. Yeah, I can be a bit pedantic at times, but yeah, you could easily use them. A couple of packs to create leader figures would work really nicely. Mine are actually going to get used as LDV or auxiliaries. Now, I did one conversion. I wanted a sniper rifle where I actually just took arms from a Blitzkrieg German infantry figure, put in the scoped rifle from that set, and it works. Yeah, that worked nicely. So you could use them easily for that. Again, a lot of the weapons might be a bit late, but I've justified it by using the German weapons and sort of decided they were issued captured kit if I was going to do a lot that way. Now, you could even use them, if you were to be really ambitious, as Twilight 2000 pulls. If you added some different weapons to it, you'd need to look at basically AKs. But there's in that game, there's plenty of older kit floating around. Now, I did do one quite big conversion with it, which is the figure which I've converted for use in my Operation Sea Lion games, or Eagle Has Landed. I've basically converted a figure to Liam Devlin, the IRA figure with that, which is obviously another use you can use them for. You know, they would fit in quite nicely for German allies during Sea Lion. You've got the IRA and you've got the British Union of Fascists that they could easily be used for those. But the Devlin figure, what I've done is I've extended the jacket down into a trench coat using green stuff, converted the Mauser to a silenced Mauser. Now, that appears in the extended book version of the Eagle Has Landed. I've not found it when I reread the Eagle Has Landed the other day. I was quite surprised at that. It was one of my key things that I remembered. It was a silenced Mauser, which was a very rare one that was used. I can't remember if it was by the SS or the Gestapo. Devlin acquires one. And I had to convert it to give it a shotgun. That's a surprise that isn't in the set. I would have liked a shotgun or two. I'm kind of hoping that some of these will turn up in future boxes. And Wargames Atlantic are brilliant for mixing them. So a shotgun would have been good. And I'd liked a German Mauser K98K. I think that would have worked well. But overall, as a box of figures, it's brilliant. You've got enough variation. Even if you'd bought a full box, you wouldn't have any real overlap with figures looking the same. 4 bodies, lots of heads, lots of weapons. The only downside is that there is a bit of an absence of open left hand ones. I did have to convert one by cutting the hand off and rotating it, because it just didn't look natural. But overall, great bunch of figures. They're probably going to end up defending Warmington on Sea, Bramley End. For those who like the film Went the Day Well, that's definitely going to get used. Particularly the figure with the flat cap. I've actually made him look as close as I can to the poacher that is in that film. So highly recommended if you with a wide range of uses, and if you use a few add-on weapons and things, massively extends what you can use it for. Hope that's been useful. See you soon for another review.